Hi Shan, hi Ram. Congratulations on getting into NYU and also getting recruited on the golf team, Ishaan.
Thank you, thank you.
And congrats to you as well.
Yeah, thank you. Great. So it was a long journey. I think we worked almost for 2 years together. So wasn't an easy one, and lots of anxiety, lots of stress. So Ishaan, first with you, how was your overall experience, working with us?
I mean, when I first got into, I thought the whole college process would be really tough. It was tough, but I actually found it more enjoyable than I thought I would. So yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and I got a lot of help from the NexTrack team. Anytime I wanted help, I'd just call them, and they'd always be free and willing to give answers. So yeah.
Awesome. What about you for you, Ram? How was your experience?
Yeah, so I think I think as a parent, the pressure's on you as much as it is on the student, and therefore, before you get to the college, I think one of the things that all of us who, for a first child who's going to university, the pressure or the decision to choose someone who's going to help you is that much more. So I think with you, Abhinav, in particular. Since we were or we are maybe the first batch that you as an independent company is starting off. So at the back of our minds for both Sharmili and I, that was definitely one slight concern, which we expressed with you to you as well. But I think the most wonderful and the most comforting and reassuring thing was the connect and the chemistry that you had with Ishaan. That is what was one of the key aspects of us taking this decision. In addition to that, I think the assurance that you gave us and the incredible hand-holding, because as I again said, as a parent, a lot of pressure is on you as well as much as the child for always being there, at a WhatsApp or a call. I think that was a fabulous journey and a fabulous hand-holding that we experienced. And the result is there to show, for that.
Yeah, wonderful. And credit to you also to having that faith and trust, because definitely I remember when when NexTrack as a company started, you were, I think, one of the first 5 families to start working with us as well. And now, a couple of years later, Ishaan, now you're going to NYU to play golf. So dream come true. Great.
Yes.
So moving on from this, what were the specific areas where you really received a lot of help, or you thought that NexTrack made a lot of difference in your process, Ishaan?
I mean, firstly, get the full email process and reaching out to all the coaches, because we reached out to, I think, almost more than 100 colleges. So that was really hard, and the NexTrack team made it easy because it was all on an Excel sheet. All I had to do was just copy paste a mail, and then so that whole process was a lot easier because of that. Then also planning out the whole summer trip would have been really hard if it wasn't done with Abhinav. So and even making deciding on meetings with the coaches in America, that was really helpful. That whole process was made a lot easier. And then finally, once the golf bit was done, actually writing the college essays was something I was worried about because I hadn't really focused too much on that before. But then, that whole process too with Pravish sir was really enjoyable, and I think we wrote down a couple of good essays. So yeah.
Yeah, luckily you didn't have to write too many because
Yeah.
your ED1 at NYU worked out. But of course, we had another 4-5 essays written down just in case we had to go regular decision. And I think even looking back at that summer trip, because planning that right after India's second wave
Yeah.
tough for you guys, was even tough for us because lots of coaches were not available. The COVID protocols were very confusing. So I'm very glad that you guys even made that happen. Yeah. Anything from your end, Ram?
So I think pretty much what Ishaan said, just to reiterate, I think the beauty of what you and your company offers is like a one-stop shop, right? I mean, at the end of the day, to me, it's critical that whatever happens. I mean, there are two aspects. One aspect is knowledge, and the second aspect, I come back to chemistry. And when you have someone who offers both, and that's not only to you, but I take the opportunity to even compliment your team. Be it Zahan or be it Pravesh, who worked with Ishaan in particular, that was superb. That there was professionalism and there was the human touch. And I think whichever decision we took, be it right from the trip to which colleges to focus on, which coaches and how, and etc. I think the process and hand-holding, where the decision making was based on pros and cons which were discussed, and every question that we put forward was patiently answered, and we were part of the entire process. It's a lot of times one heard so many other places where the counselor is so overbearing that sometimes it's more their decision rather than the parent and students, whereas here at least the entire process was so fabulous, where it was a decision that as a team one made. And I think that is what overall the journey, or the beauty of the journey and the experience was.
Great, glad to hear that. And you're right that there are definitely, times where counselors can get very overbearing, that they're making the decision for you or sort of projecting what they would want onto you. But at the end of the day, it comes down to what you want as a student and what you want, as a parent as well. So our job is really to show you all the pros and cons and give you the recommendations. But that doesn't mean in the end, that's the decision we make. So,
and again, just to add one more line to that, is that when you as a parent again see that the counselor is keeping the student's interest as the primary and only central focus, I think the amount of reassurance that gets is huge, because again, we don't come from that experience, right? So even when certain decisions are left to the counselor, that it is taken in the best interest of the child. So I think that is the most comforting factor that we felt in our association.
That's great. So Ishaan, finally NYU, and that wasn't an easy decision. You were talking to multiple coaches, and you had multiple offers from some very good institutions, Tufts, Swarthmore. I think you were even talking to Babson. So in the end, how did you finally decide on NYU?
NYU was offering a course that I really like, sports management. So that was one criteria. And then also NYC, New York as a city is amazing. I love New York. And even the coach, there's a new coach at NYU on the golf team now. So she the way she was expressing her interest and the way she was talking to me over calls was really good. So that's why I picked NYU.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think the course and your communication with the coach really tipped it over, because I think the kind of goals you have from a golf perspective, you could see that she can perhaps help you fulfill that. And that's not always easy at Division 3 level, because every program has a different level of intensity when it comes to the sport. So in the end, I think you found that right fit where you've got a good, intense golf program that wants to do extremely well and succeed and shoot the kind of numbers that you're aiming for, and also be in a superb college at the end of the day doing the course that you want to do. So great. So last question for you, Ishaan. I mean, if you had to give any sort of advice or any tips to another student athlete like you, what would you say?
I mean, you literally just have to follow what Abhinav sir, Zahan sir, and that teams. That's it. And then also if you're an athlete and you're going to US to take part in the tournaments, make sure you don't take it too seriously and actually enjoy the whole experience of playing in another country. Your results will get better just by doing that. So just don't take the whole process seriously. Stick to like whatever timelines given, and yeah, don't leave anything for the last minute. But yeah, mainly just have fun and yeah, stick to just follow the work that's given by the NexTrack. Yeah.
I like that advice of not taking things too seriously, because it can get very annoying and anxious and you can take a lot of pressure. So you have to remember that, look, one way or the other, you will get something good in the end, and just kind of remember that. Yeah. What about you, for you, Ram? Any advice for any parents?
Yeah, I mean, I think just listen to your kid and child, and I guess also listen to the counselor, because they both at one level know what is best for the for your child. So put forward all your views and pros and cons, which we tried to do for Ishaan as well, and eventually allowed them to take a decision, or an informed decision, because eventually they have to live with it. So, I mean, that's something that we try to follow as parents. At times it got easier said than done, where as any parent, you would like to influence the decision. But we did pull back the best that we could. And yeah, I think, again, I repeat that it has been a fabulous journey, fabulous handholding. And to me as a parent, it was always, so many questions, doubts, concerns were there through the course of the year, and especially in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And the fact that there was always Abhinav who was available, at a phone call or a message away. I think that's just reassuring as far as the parent is concerned. So that's the. I mean, I don't know if that's the advice, but whatever it is.
Yeah, no, I'm glad we had such a great journey together over 2 years, and finally Ishaan's off to NYU in a few months. So congrats once again, Ishaan, and all the best.